Good morning, everyone. Please welcome on stage our Master of Ceremonies, Professor Dr. Mrs. Clara Posfey Barb.
Bonjour. Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. Welcome to Geneva and to the 48th World Hospital Congress of the International Hospital Federation. This year hosted by my hospital, the Geneva University Hospitals, also called HUG, HUG. Isn't it nice to have a hospital that is already warm when you talk about it? I'm Professor Clara Posfey Barb, Medical Director at the Geneva University Hospitals, and it is my honor to serve as your Master of Ceremonies this morning. We are very excited, I'm sure you are too, that to gather more than 1,500 healthcare leaders from over 80 countries, a truly global community, to share insights, exchange innovative ideas, and foster collaborations. This year is particularly special. It is the first time the Congress is being held in Geneva, home to both the IHF headquarters and many international health institutions, a fitting setting for the conversation that will take place in the next 3 days. But before we begin with the program, I would like to take a moment on behalf of the IHF and HUG to extend our heartfelt thanks to those who contributed to make this Congress possible. First, to the Global Scientific Committee. Your insights and expertise have shaped an outstanding program that reflects the most pressing priorities of healthcare leaders. The quality and diversity of the sessions and of the speakers are a testament to your commitment to excellence. Please join me in thanking them. Second, I would like to thank our sponsors and partners whose support has been invaluable in bringing this event to life. Thank you. Your dedication to advancing healthcare has been instrumental in making this event possible. We are truly grateful for your collaboration. Let's give them a big round of applause. At the heart of IHF is a commitment to bringing together healthcare leaders from around the world to share ideas, drive innovation, and advance the quality of care for our communities, for everyone. Now, to officially open our program, it is my honor to invite to the stage the person who's leading that mission. Please welcome the President of the International Hospital Federation, Dr. Muna Talak, to get us underway.
Thank you, Clara. Good morning. Bonjour tout le monde. May I offer the warmest of welcomes to each of you, our distinguished delegates and honored guests, Your Excellencies, ministers, consigliers, delegates, and friends. We are here and we are so happy to see you here today. Let's start with some culture. Maybe you can try this with me. I'll see if I can hear some noises. Herzlich willkommen, liebe Delegierte. But I didn't hear anybody say that. Bienvenue, chers délégués. This is easier, I think. Benvenuti, cari delegati. And last, benveni, cari delegats. Did you know Switzerland has 4 official languages? German, French, Italian, and Romansh. I didn't know that. Canton by canton, as you explore this beautiful country, you will experience a seamless interaction of different words and identities, local and national communities united by what they have in common. This simple fact reflects something profound, the power of cross-cultural collaboration. As we gather this week, let's keep that example in mind. Healthcare leadership is stronger when we listen across languages, disciplines, and borders. This year marks the 48th edition of the World Hospital Congress. As a community with a shared vision and values, we have been gathering since 1929. So in 2029, we'll be celebrating our 100th year. This really speaks volumes about the strength and commitment of IHF members and our global network. It is so inspiring to see leaders of hospitals and healthcare systems come together again and again to learn, to share, and to advance the health of their communities. It is a particular pleasure to gather in Geneva, the hometown of IHF, and of our Geneva Sustainability Center, and the global center of policy, diplomacy, and partnerships that shape healthcare delivery. This World Health Congress is being hosted in Geneva for the first time, making it the third time the Congress has convened in Switzerland. A heartfelt thanks for our wonderful partners at HOJ, Geneva University Hospital, for their extraordinary co-hosting support, and to our Swiss full member H+ for a wonderful collaboration. Thank you so much. Personally, this is a moment of reflection and of gratitude to all of you. It has been a full year since my first Congress as an IHF president, a year of building relationships with inspiring healthcare leaders across the world. I have learned so much from peers who share the same dedication to patients and communities. Now, as I enter the second Congress as president, I plan to fill this week to the brim, learning, sharing, and connecting with all of you. As leaders of hospitals and health systems, our organizational achievements are always motivated by one thing: the patients. And our successes are ultimately defined also by one thing: our healthcare workforce. Contemporary healthcare leadership depends on the relationships we build, listening, learning, and working together to improve care. This week's scientific program and the many opportunities for dialogue will help us do just that. I encourage you to take full advantage, ask questions, share your stories, and forge new partnerships. So make the most of this Congress. Enjoy the experience, reconnect with old friends, and build new relationships that will carry forward long after we leave Geneva. Merci, danke, grazie, and graziel. Thank you for being here and for all that you will contribute to our shared mission of better healthcare for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Talak, for this inspiring welcome and for your leadership. It is now my pleasure to introduce someone who is not only a key figure in making this Congress possible, but also someone I have the privilege of working with. Under his leadership, the Geneva University Hospitals continue to strengthen their mission as a center of excellence in patient care, innovation, and international collaboration. Please join me in welcoming our Director General, CEO, Monsieur Robert Mardini, to deliver his opening remarks.
Thank you, Clara. Bonjour, tout le monde. A warm welcome to all of you to Geneva. It's a great honor and privilege to have you here with us. Geneva State Councillor, Mr. Pierre Maudet, City of Geneva Vice President, Christina Kitsos, IHF President, Dr. Muna Tahlak, Excellencies, dear Ministers of Health, esteemed guests and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Geneva University Hospitals, HUG or HUG, as Clara suggested earlier, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 48th World Hospital Congress of the International Hospital Federation here in Geneva. We are truly honored to host this year's edition in a city that stands for as a global symbol for dialogue, peace, and cooperation. Today, we open a Congress that promises to connect ideas, people from every continent across geopolitical shifts and divides, a Congress where global learning meets local action for every patient indiscriminately. Geneva is home to more than 40 international organizations, hundreds of NGOs committed to advancing health, science, human dignity globally. It is also at the heart of what we call Switzerland's Health Valley, a vibrant ecosystem of hospitals, universities, and life science innovators. The IHF Secretariat has found its natural home here in Geneva since 2011, close to WHO, the UN, and many others. So hosting this Congress in Geneva is not just symbolic, it is highly strategic. It brings together global expertise in a city that was built and engineered for collaboration. As a university hospital, HUG operates precisely at the intersection of global knowledge and local care. We work with WHO, the ICRC, MSF, and academic partners worldwide while remaining firmly anchored in our public mission, which is to provide the best care for all. Through clinical research, digital health, and education, we strive to ensure that every innovation improves the experience, safety, and dignity of our patients. Ultimately, every discussion, every innovation, every partnership must serve one single purpose and one single goal, which is the well-being of patients. That is why, throughout this Congress, you will find our partner patients at the HUG booth outside the room here. They are here to share their experiences, and they are a powerful reminder that care is at its best when co-created with patients. Not patients coming in and out from hospitals, but patients staying with us and accompanying us in how we improve the experience for everyone. I warmly invite you to meet them and engage in conversations with them. Listening to patients is one of the most profound forms of global learning. We stand united by shared realities as a community, an aging population, a global shortage of healthcare professionals, and the transformative power of AI reshaping how we work and also reshaping how we lead. At the same time, Gen Z, Generation Z, is redefining purpose, culture, and how we build trust, challenging us as healthcare leaders to rethink leadership and engagement. This Congress is where these challenges become opportunities. Together, across borders and disciplines, across hierarchies, we can imagine bold solutions and commit to action that strengthens care, empowers teams, and builds resilient health systems for the future. At HUG, sustainability is not a slogan, it is a core value. Environmental, social, and economic. We are proud to be the first hospital in Europe and the second worldwide after Singapore to receive the International Healthcare Certification delivered by JCI. We are actively, thank you. We are actively, and as COP30 opens in Brazil, we continue to actively reduce our carbon footprint, promoting responsible energy use, and rethinking infrastructure to support a sustainable model of care. Working also hand in hand with the Geneva Sustainability Center, which tries to multiply these efforts across the community. I hope this Congress will be a space for reflection, challenge, and inspiration. Let's make the most of this opportunity to exchange knowledge, forge partnerships, as Dr. Muna said, and return home with ideas ready to translate into local action. On behalf of HUG, I thank the IHF for entrusting us with this role of hosting this Congress, and I thank all of you for bringing your passion and expertise here in Geneva, the city of global cooperation. And as a symbol of our shared celebration, the HUG helipad will be illuminated in the colors of IHF throughout the week. You can see it. It's one of the highest buildings in the canton. It is now my great honor to declare the 48th World Hospital Congress officially open. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for those warm and inspiring words. As we celebrate this first ever World Hospital Congress in Geneva, it is also important to recognize the city itself, a unique place where I love to live, that makes gatherings like this possible, known around the world for its commitment to diplomacy, collaboration, and progress in global health. It is my honor to invite to the stage the Vice President of the Administrative Council of Geneva, Mrs. Christina Kitsos, to offer her welcome remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a pleasure to welcome you here in Geneva. We are living in a pivotal moment. Urbanization is profoundly transforming our societies. More than half of humanity now lives in cities, and this proportion continues to grow. This urban concentration creates tremendous opportunities, but also considerable challenges. Pollution, noise, climate disruption, social isolation, chronic diseases, mental health issues, unequal access to healthcare and to quality food. These are all realities shaping 21st century urban health. In this context, inequality acts as a particularly concerning determinant of health. Unstable income, inadequate housing, isolation, and lack of access to information increase exposure to risks and contribute to the emergence of or worsening of physical and mental illnesses. The cost of healthcare, administrative complexity, or low health literacy education can lead to delays in screening, abandoning treatments, and interruptions in care. These barriers often result in complications that could have been avoided and in more severe hospitalization. Beyond these material effects lies a psychological burden of uncertainty. Constant stress and the biological wear it causes can affect sleep, metabolism, and immunity. The evidence is clear. The lower one is on the social ladder, the higher the rates of morbidity and mortality, and the more health injustice is reproduced from one generation to next. Since 2009, the Center for Territorial Analysis of Inequalities, a joint initiative of the University of Geneva and the Geneva School of Business Administration, has supported public action by providing maps, socioeconomic indicators, and analysis. This shows that there are pockets of deprivation with the highest rates of unemployment, social assistance, and low income. Other studies conducted by the Geographic Information Research and Analysis in Population Health Laboratory and the Department of Educational Research of Geneva show that it is precisely within these deprived areas that multiple health problems such as dental decay, obesity, and diabetes are concentrated. While cities concentrate risk, they also hold powerful levers for action. The city of Geneva develops policies focused on proximity and on strengthening social bonds. We are convinced that better health is built every day in our neighborhoods. Early childhood facilities, schools, public spaces, and green areas. For example, in partnership with the city of Lausanne, we have published a set of recommendations aimed at preventing exposure of children and staff to endocrine disruptors. Only broad, care-based policies grounded in people's real needs can effectively combat inequalities and the health issues they create. As French philosopher Cynthia Fleury puts it, I quote, "It is essential to rebuild politics through the care it provides to people, primarily through actions in education, health, and culture, which lie at the heart of individual empowerment." In conclusion, I invite you to fully integrate this social dimension into your reflections. I wish you a Congress rich in exchange and insight. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kitsos, for those thoughtful words and the city's unwavering support in advancing healthcare for all. Geneva's leadership extends beyond its walls. It is also reflected in the policies and the vision of the Republican Canton of Geneva, which continues to strengthen the region's healthcare system and its role as a global hub for health innovation. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage the State Councillor for Health and Mobility, Monsieur Pierre Maudet.
Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, distinguished guests, I'm delighted to warmly welcome you to Geneva for this 48th World Hospital Congress, a gathering of leaders who shape the very future of healthcare. As Minister in charge of health for the Canton of Geneva, it's a true honor to host for the very first time the World Hospital Congress, organized by the IHF. This Congress, gathering 1,500 hospital leaders, healthcare executives, and experts joining us from over 80 countries, embodies something essential: the conviction that health systems are stronger when they learn from each other. Geneva, the home of the health diplomacy, stands today not as a host city, but as a partner in this collective mission to ensure that every patient, everywhere, benefits from progress. The challenges we face are immense. We are living in a time of accelerated change: demographic, technological, environmental. Hospitals and health systems are at the front line of this transformation. They must reinvent themselves, not only as a place of care, but as networks of trust, data, and shared responsibility. Founded in 1929, the IHF is the world's only organization devoted to hospital and healthcare leader systems. And since 2011, IHF headquarters are located here in Geneva, thank you, Ron, at the heart of global health diplomacy, hosting over 40 international organizations and 400 NGOs active in health, including the WHO, Gavi, the Global Fund, and ICRC. This year's Congress takes place not only where health is discussed, but where health is built, innovated, and shared to solve present and future challenges. The vision of the Canton of Geneva is to build an equitable, coordinated, and sustainable health system, where decisions are guided by evidence, collaboration, and innovation. Through the Cantonal Health Office, Geneva is investing in 3 strategic priorities. First, continuity of care through integrated networks that bridge hospitals, clinics, and community medicine. Second, knowledge and data to anticipate needs, guide resources, and strengthen accountability. And third, the trust, by encouraging cooperation and trust between public, private, hospital, and community partners. This is not only a local agenda, it is a shared ambition to embody the IHF's mission, learning together to act more effectively. Innovation and sustainability are our compass. The Geneva University hospitals are pioneers in clinical excellence and sustainability, among the first worldwide to achieve the Joint Commission Healthcare Sustainability Certification. Together with the International Hospital Federation, we founded the Geneva Sustainability Center, which trains health leaders worldwide to make ecological transition a reality, not a slogan. This Congress, with its theme Global Learning, Local Action for Every Patient, reminds us that global health begins before the sickness and at the bedside, in the daily choices we make as institutions and as individuals. May these days in Geneva be a source of clarity, courage, and connection. Clarity to understand where our systems must change, courage to lead these changes in uncertain times, and connection, because progress in health has always been a collective endeavor. Thank you to the IHF, the Geneva University Hospital, HUG, and to all those who made this gathering possible. And thank you for your trust, for your presence, and your commitment to a healthier, fairer, and more sustainable world. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Monsieur le Conseiller d'État, for your words and your leadership. We are now honored to hear a special message from a global health leader whose vision and guidance continue to inspire all of us working to improve care and equity across the world. Please join me in welcoming through this recorded address the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus.
Dr. Muna Abdulrazak Tahlak, dear colleagues and friends, welcome to Geneva and to the 48th World Hospital Congress. As the global context changes and resources become scarcer, we must work together to ensure that healthcare is accessible, affordable, and equitable for all. Hospitals play a critical role in achieving this vision. They meet health needs across the life course. They educate the next generation of health workers. They support high-quality primary care. And they help to keep people safe during public health emergencies. As part of the primary healthcare approach, it's crucial that hospitals are fully integrated into health systems, supporting and working in partnership with communities. Hospitals must be able to deliver high-quality, safe, and person-centered care, with patients and their families protected from impoverishing fees. To improve quality and patient outcomes in hospitals, clinicians and managers play a critical role in turning international guidance and learning including WHO tools into local action, the theme of this year's Congress. We thank the International Hospital Federation for your continued leadership. We look forward to our ongoing collaboration to maximize the contribution of hospitals on the road to universal health coverage. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tedros, for that inspiring message. To close our opening ceremony, we are delighted to hear from a respected voice on governance and decision-making. His insights have helped leaders across sectors, including healthcare, navigate complexity and lead with purpose. Please welcome Professor Didier Cossin, founder and director of the IMD Global Board Center, who will deliver today's keynote presentation.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to take a slightly different tack here because I'm not going to come from the healthcare world. I want to come from the governance world. And governance is challenged around the world. We live in a transforming world. We live in a world of rising conflicts, right? Whether geopolitical conflicts or technological conflicts or generational conflicts, also potential social conflicts. And in that world, governance somehow gets transformed. Governance is the art of decision-making at the top of organizations, and within your hospitals, right? Within your organizations, you are living through these tensions that make governance difficult. I'm just coming out of a world tour myself. I just landed from Palo Alto. I was just before in New York during the elections. Tokyo just before, Abu Dhabi and Riyadh, right? And we're seeing across the world a transformation of what good governance is. How can you ensure quality decision-making at the top of your organizations? Very simple statistic to start with, right? In 1920, average life expectancy was 54 years in the US, and S&P 500 companies were on the S&P for 67 years on average. By 2025, we have moved to a life expectancy of 79 years, but S&P 500 companies die as teenagers, my friends, right? We see an incredible acceleration of the natural selection. Oops. Let me try and go. There are a few scientific lessons we can take from there. The acceleration at large, the fact that older companies tend to underperform, the fact we don't have long-standing 400, 500 years old organizations, and thus there is a renewal that is needed all the time. That renewal happens through natural selection. We're seeing it with AI very powerfully, right? But it also comes from variation and from replication, getting the best out of the leaders. By the way, very interesting for investment. If you take the 100 best governed of the S&P 500, you overperform vastly the average, and you overperformed even more the 100 worst governed. So governance has become an engine of performance in the investment world. And we know at large that our governance is challenged. Across organizations, right, we see sleepy boards, rubber stamping boards, we see uninformed board. I remember, the board of UBS in 2006, where one of the board members told me that nobody on the board understood the risk reports of UBS. And so we have to remember, right, these things. How many of us do understand the impact of AI, of cybersecurity, of technology changes? We have dominant chair, dominant CEO boards, right? We have lifetime boards or ever-changing boards. We have disrupted boards, corrupted boards, consensual boards. We even have boards that set the CEO up to fail, but we also have boards that are love boards, for whom the CEO can do no wrong, right? And so at large, we see many pathologies of governance that we have to overcome to get to the right decision-making, whether it's the pick of the right CEO, the right investment, the right strategy, right? Governance has become critical for performance. And we know, by the way, that even with a poor board, right, we may have a decent management and an organization that runs okay, right? But at large, these types of organizations still are challenged around 4 dimensions. Technical risks, I would rank cybersecurity, but other risks as well, right? Strategy at large, and how do you orient your organization over the long term? And this is one of the big challenges today, right? Executives to board relation, ensuring a level of trust there, right? And frankly, very simply, integrity. And I see a lot of integrity failures around in the world today, right? And these integrity failures are a threat to our organizations. So very simple, right? An easy way to get through good governance, it's actually the topic of my latest book, right? Is 4 dimensions, 4 pillars. Ensuring the right people, and it's not only the quality of the people and their personalities, it's the diversity of perspectives, their focus, and their dedication. Are they tackling the right problems? Are they committed, dedicated enough, right? The second dimension, very straightforward, is information. Getting the right information, also on external information, right? The evolution of the context, and AI is going to help a lot board quality on that side. The third dimension, very simple, is structures and processes, nomination process, audit process, risk process, strategy process, board evaluation process, performance review process, the long list of processes. And the fourth is group dynamics and governance culture, right? Do we have psychological safety in the room? Are we able to elevate the right problems? Do we challenge enough, right, the structure and the issues that are happening around? And so very simple guiding principles for board performance at large, right? Which is what, you know, any board should be doing an assessment around these 4 pillars, stepping back every few years, clarifying roles, checking difference between the composition and the ideal composition, stepping up performance and knowledge standards, improving work processes, and maintaining a culture of openness, independence, mutual respect, equal participation. All of that sounds good, but make no mistake, right? We are changing world. We are changing world. Maybe I'll even change the slide for that, but maybe not. Okay? We are changing world, right? And we have crossed the Rubicon of modern governance, right? Where we are moving potentially from what I call the rules-based governance, right? Constructive dissent, challenge to each other, to a power-based governance. And the two can coexist, right? But there is no question that something that has been revealed by the current US administration, but existed before, is taking over some of the style and content of governance that we have today. And the administration's policy through power, right, is redefining a certain style of governance. And the point I want to bring today, right, is that this is something that existed. Some of you are in private equity settings, probably, right? And in private equity, we have had influential, dominant individuals on the board, right? that have moved the game. And so there is a transformation of the world that even, the most powerful actors are somehow acknowledging. Larry Fink, views on diversity have changed tremendously in 4 years, right? And the smile is stronger, but maybe less benign, right? And so we are seeing a world, right, where value maximization, dominance and control, individuals with large financial stakes or political stakes, right, as well as independent directors being sidelined because of less powerful. And you could ask yourself, but does this work? Is this long-lasting? Is this even legitimate, right? And my gosh, we have to come back to Machiavelli, probably, right, to figure out that this is also a way to run the world. And we have to choose somehow between the two, right? There are advantages to power-based boards. They allow for greater alignment. They allow for faster transformation. They allow actually for tackling difficult topics very sharply and quickly, and they prioritize execution over debate. It also allows some strong-arm deal-making, such as the Panama Canal, right? And so there are advantages as well, my friends, to power-based boards. But of course, there are some risks of psychological safety, of dissent, of sabotage, of paralysis that also exist. Rules-based board, right, with a constructive dissent and the dialectic process that is normal on boards, allow for more psychological safety, greater deliberation, broader stakeholder engagement, but they can be less decisive, slower in decision-making, and leading to weaker political agility. And thus, somehow within your board, I would say you need to choose the right governance model. Not only do you need to choose the right governance model, but you need to adapt the governance model to the decision, to even the context. The same board can play power sometimes and play dialectic other times, right? But you need to figure out, and the smartest boards have moved there. I work with the boards of the most sophisticated and largest organizations in the world, the sovereign wealth funds of the world, right? The large caps of the world, organizations with hundreds of thousands of employees, right? Sometimes millions of employees, right? And I can see actually how the most sophisticated are able to tune themselves at the governance level. And so there are advantages to both sides. We need to consider both sides. And when we have chosen, we come to conclusions, all right? And conclusions are very straightforward, very easy, right? Great boards somehow lever excellence in these four main dimensions of the people, information, structures, and group dynamics. But most importantly, in a transforming world and in a challenge world, right, they make the choice of where they want to align, be forceful and powerful versus in a dialectic process of challenge to each others to get towards the right decision. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Professor Cossin, for those thought-provoking perspectives. A perfect way to set the tone for many discussions, I'm sure. This promises an inspiring and energizing Congress here in Geneva. And with that, we officially conclude the opening ceremony of the 48th World Hospital Congress.